In this show should not be construed as specific recommendations or investment advice. Always consult with your investment professional before making important investment decisions. And now, Financial Renaissance with the M's.
Good morning, financial knowledge seekers. Welcome to the Financial Renaissance. I am your host, Emma Folks, and I am here with a very special co-host this morning. I have my buddy. I've known this guy for almost 20 years. I don't know. I stopped at whatever. Dheeaba Donghrer. He is a TV, film, voice actor, spoken word artist, model every once in a while, burger connoisseur.
I am a burger connoisseur.
A burger connoisseur. And while you may not want people to know, you do have a photo gallery online.
I am a photographer.
You are a photographer. He's got some sexy photos online from the early 2000s. No, those are current.
I'm a fine arts photographer, but it's just not something I push very much because I'm focused on my acting. Yeah, it's just kind of for fun.
You've been in a lot of stuff, man. Like I was watching TV. I guess it was a little while ago, and there was a Navy commercial on.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I know that voice. I was like, I know. Oh man, my dude. So tell us a little bit about just your experience, and you were here in Atlanta with us, and then you left. You went to Hollywood, and then you came back.
I started out. I'm a veteran also, and
yes, you are.
After I got out of the military,
U.S. Army.
Yes, I was in the Army for about 6 years. Came out, went home, South Carolina for a little bit. Got into college, and then that was when I was introduced to acting on a college level. I had got into it at the end of high school, but wasn't really pursuing it. Was more thinking about modeling. And then when I got into college, I started doing some acting. Then I decided to come to Atlanta. Came here. That's where we met. So I was here for about 7 years pursuing acting. Yeah. Then I went out to L.A. I got into some stuff, a little bit more acting, a little bit more modeling and voiceover.
You got into a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm looking at the shows. Like I knew you were on some stuff.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I got some good stuff. I got episode of Dexter and CSI, and I did some commercials, did some voiceover work. So it was cool. But then Atlanta got hot, and LA stayed expensive. So I decided to come on back to the A, just to get a leg up in a
Hollywood South.
Yeah, try it out. So I came in 2015, and I'm pursuing my acting and stuff here, but I also call it my Fix My Life tour, where I decided I wanted to come back and live a lower cost of living while paying off some stuff that I ignored in my youth.
Right.
And so, that's why I'm glad we're friends, because in your field of expertise, I had somebody I could talk to. So it's, this is part of that. Me being here today is part of that push forward to spread the word to other people.
Yeah, we've been having several conversations about just financial stuff and what the people need, what the people want. So one of the things I love about you is that because we've been friends for so long, we're able to be brutally honest with each other, right? Yeah. So Dheeaba Donghrer is on his Fix His Life tour. Is this traveling around all over the country?
No. It's staying in Atlanta where it's cheaper to do.
All right, good. Listen, when we come back on Financial Renaissance, we're going to have my top 5 news stories of the week, but we're also going to be talking about creative ways to earn money until your passion, if you're a creative and artist, until your passion pays off. We're also I'm going to tell you about 18 jobs that you can have that are part-time that also have benefits when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's.
On the Contact tab as much as you like. We're the nation's urban station. Online. SSNATL.com.
And we are back on Financial Renaissance with the Emma and Dheeaba. Dheeaba Donghrer. I'm going to just call you Dheeaba. Do I have to say your last name? Because you should just you like a one name type of dude. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, actually, I was going to do that. And then my best friend at the time talked me into doing the whole second name.
Yeah,
so it's
just
kinda stuck now.
Dheeaba, because that's the only thing that I.
But that's got to be the first introduction. You got to say the whole thing, and then you can dwindle it down to Dheeaba.
Well, listen, you are listening to us on ssnatl.com or sensationstationnetwork.com. And if you want to watch the show, you can tune into facebook.com/notdumbdown, or go to Facebook in the search bar. Go ahead and click on, type in Sensation Station Network, and then you can watch the show. And if you have a comment, a question, or anything like that, you can put your comment in the comment sections, or you can text us at 678-613-5857. Can you repeat those numbers?
I cannot.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Hey, listen, here are my top 5 news stories of the week. My favorite word, it's a 4-letter word and begins with an F. Do you know what it is?
Free?
That's right. USC. Not the South Carolina USC. The Southern California University of Spoiled Children. University of Southern California offers free tuition to families making under $80,000, and they're going to be giving a tax break to homeowners. So what you need to know is that if you are a homeowner and you have equity in your home, when you're applying for government aid, financial aid, etc., they count the equity that you have in your home against you. So if you live in California, which, Dheeaba, what did you say about the cost of living out there?
Very high.
Very high. Exactly. So eliminating the home equity as a factor in the financial aid calculations is significantly going to help California state residents, because their home values have skyrocketed, but their incomes have not.
Yeah, and that really doesn't mean much there, because homes in
California
are extremely
yeah.
expensive. And I paid attention to it because as a veteran, you look at buying a home and cost of living there versus here.
Yeah, night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day. All right, here's something that you should, if you have student loan debt, this is something you may want to Google, because student loan borrowers are filing a new lawsuit against the student loan, the people, Navient, the company. The suit alleges that Navient improperly charged struggling student loan borrowers, say that word for me, man.
Borrowers.
Yes, with late fees that they did not have to pay, and they deceived them into paying late fees over and over and over again. So this is not the first time Navient has been accused of unfair, deceptive, or even what they're calling predatory practices. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, okay, that's the CFPB. This is the department that Wall Street wants dismantled. So you're going to hear a lot of talk about this, but the CFPB is here for everybody on Main Street. It is our first line of protection. The CFPB previously sued Navient for alleged widespread misconduct involved in steering student loan borrowers into forbearance rather than income-driven repayment plans, and also loan forgiveness plans. So again, if you have or had a loan with Navient, you may want to look into this, because you may be entitled, you may be able to get into part of this lawsuit. Now, this is a cool story for us living here in Atlanta. Atlanta is the mecca for African Americans in technology. Can we get a hand clap? Yay! Right. And I knew this, okay? That's why I moved to Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta back in 1999 because Atlanta was the hot spot for IT jobs at the time. And so, the previous mayors were saying that they wanted to turn Atlanta into Silicon Valley South. Well, looks like they did it. So the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which is our local newspaper, they have highlighted that the city of Atlanta is the second largest black metro area in the country, but it is number 1 for tech entrepreneurs. And the reason for this is because there's tech programs at Morehouse and Spelman, specifically for African Americans. And then we have tech incubators at companies like Coca-Cola, Delta, and there's a ton of Fortune 500 companies in the city of Atlanta. And Macy's, while they are closing stores, Macy's is going to be opening up a $14 million U.S. technology hub in Midtown Atlanta. So again, if you're looking at where do you chopping up your skills and figuring out what to do, Atlanta is going to be the spot. Between the years 2013 and 2018, over 30,000 new tech jobs were added. Wow. Okay, so again, as we are talking about jobs of the future and things like that, you got to go where the jobs are, and it looks like Atlanta may be that place. Now, here's a sad story.
Definitely.
This is not news. All right. This is definitely not news, but almost half of the Americans, All right, people that your neighbors, our teachers, our garbage people, white collar people. Nearly half of Americans say that they expect to live paycheck to paycheck this year. All right, that is absolutely ridiculous. Not with the stock market having all-time highs and the economy is doing still great, then why do people feel that they're only going to be living paycheck to paycheck? So a couple of things, actually, I'll tell you some of the things that you need to do, but it does involve talking to your Congress people and doing some other stuff on your own to figure out how to make more money.
Because I will say, if you expect to live paycheck to paycheck, you will.
Well, hey, some things that you can do is make more money, right? Which we are going to be talking about today. You can cut your expenses, which we are going to be talking about today. Start an emergency fund, which we will be talking about today. And then paying down or paying off debt, okay, which we are going to be talking about today.
Once you make
and
those
then
plans you won't expect.
And then reading, okay? Reading is fundamental. I'm from New York. We used to have RIF. They used to make sure that we knew that we had to pick up a book and read. And for a lot of you, you don't have to pick up a book. Just pick up your phone and do something other than playing games and being on social media. All right, our last story, and this is my top story, is if you have land, you can actually make some money, okay? There are farmers in the country that are losing a lot of money, especially with what's going on with China, et cetera. But there are a lot of farms that are cash strapped. And the new thing is going to be putting solar panels on these farms, okay? Solar gardens, or they call it solar sharing. And when we think about climate change and a lot of other stuff, what's going to end up happening is these solar panels are going to shade some of the crops, so the crops don't get burned off as much.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And so what's happening in Colorado, there's a family that's in this program. The family had planted crops for more than half a century, but of course, yields began to decline, the farm began to lose money. So now what they're going to be doing is they've got this 5 acres, they're going to have solar farming on there, and they're going to be selling the energy to the local utility company. All right. And then the neighbors, if they want to get involved, they can put money into the investment. They're going to be part of what's called a community farm share program. So they're going to be able to get some of the produce from the farm, and also they get a little bit of discounts on their energy costs as well. So there's something new called agri-voltaics. It was started. It's an emerging niche market which is going to broaden the solar power industry. And all you have to do is kind of research what they've been doing in China to look at the possibilities of what we're going to be able to do here in America. When we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, we'll have my Emma Knows Money Tips. We're going to be talking about some apps to help you track your spend. We are back on Financial Renaissance with the M's. I am Emma Folks, and I am here with my co-host Dheeaba, model, actor, voiceover, photographer, Renaissance man. I'm so glad to have you here with me today. It's been a long time coming. But listen, this segment of Emma Knows Money is brought to you by Greenwood Wealth Management, and you are going to want to share. So go ahead and share this link. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, share this link with your friends, with your kids, family members, anybody who you ever hear complain about not knowing where their money is going. You definitely want to share this with them, because what we're going to talk about are the best budgeting apps for the year 2020. All right. Now, remember this. If an app is free, what's the downside? They are using your data.
Oh. I did not know that.
Yes.
All right.
So read the fine print. And again, the fine print is a bunch of legalese, but you need to know that if you are not paying for it, somebody is paying for your information. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Read the fine print. All right, so Personal Capital is an app for advanced users who want to track their net worth and their cash flow. So it gives you a free financial dashboard and a bunch of tools that you can track your finances. It automatically tracks all of your income and expenses once you connect your stuff to it. But the best thing about it, I like, is that you can see your upcoming bills. You get a snapshot of your budget. You can review your portfolios that you have. If you have like a Roth or a 401k, things like that, you can connect it to this particular app. So this is, again, for people who are really want to get granular into their budget. This is for them. Now, the old one, do you remember the first budgeting app?
I don't, because I use Mint.
That is one of them.
Okay.
Yes, Mint. It's perhaps the
Yes, I
most
do.
well-known, right? So Mint allows you to budget, track your bills, even receive a free credit score. So you can link your bank accounts, your credit card accounts, and then it uses information from there, and it suggests kind of budgets for you based on your spending. So I guess they've advanced immensely. So they've got a little bit of AI in that, but you can then kind of break things down into your own categories: entertainment, food and dining, shopping. And the best part is you'll be able to see what you can cut cut back in the category. So you use that?
I do.
Do you like it?
I do.
Okay, good. So you would recommend it?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Definitely.
highly recommended by Dheeaba. Okay, a creative. All right, and then there's another app called You Need a Budget, YNAB. And the service asks users to give every dollar that they have a job. So they make users first set up a budget goal, and whether or not, if you want to have like a vacation or education expenses, makes you kind of set a whole bunch of stuff up, and then you link your accounts, things like that, to it. One of the things I do like about this is that it does link with there is a debt reduction software or app called Undebt It, and they connect to each other. So as you're trying to eradicate debt, you can also kind of, do the aggressive debt reduction strategy along with your budget. So the two of those hand in hand should be okay. The YNAB charges about $7 a month, which again isn't bad. And we talked about Mint. Mint is free, but they
Right.
provide a lot of ads and suggestions. So the credit card companies and other people pay for are actually paying for the app. Another app people want to, and this is for people allergic to math. For people who are allergic to mathematics, there's an app called Albert. And Albert will help you, like again, you're going to connect your accounts to the app, and then it analyzes your income, spending, your budget, and your overall financial health. And then it uses algorithms to decide how much you can safely save each month. So it figures out how much you should be saving. Now, Albert is a little unique in that it does also have a savings component, which is FDIC insured. And a lot of these apps are going to have FDI insured savings components. But what Albert will do is you can actually, where is it? They have another level up that you can get into called Albert Genius. It's like a premium service, and they want you, they don't even really charge you for it, but they ask you to pay whatever you can. They suggest $4, but most people are paying about $6 or whatever. Okay. When we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, we will get into, I think I've got 2 other apps that we can look at that will help people with their money,
Awesome.
your budgeting, savings,
Yeah,
stuff
'cause
like
it needs
that.
to be done.
Yes, it does. And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. I am here live with you, and we are, we got cameras all in my face. You are listening to us live on Sensation Station Network, and you're also watching us on Facebook.com/NotDumbDown. I am your host, Emma Folks, and I am here with Dheeaba, the model actor, voiceover.
Yep, that's me.
Oh, all right. Before the break, you want to give us a recap? You got those cards of some of the apps we talked about?
So
we talked about
yes,
Mint.
yes.
We talked about, what are some of those apps that we were talking about?
Well, we mentioned the one I use, of course, which is Mint, and then we got to the YNAB,
Which is
that is You Need a Budget.
You Need a Budget. Okay.
Yep. And then we have the Undebt.
Undebt, which is tied to YNAB. That's the one that helps you with your debt reduction strategies.
Right. And then we have Albert, which is best for people who want to set it and forget it.
Yeah, those that are allergic to math.
And then we have Personal Capital.
Right.
It's best for advanced users who want to track investments, net worth, and cash flow.
All right. And then we also have one called Clarity, which is owned by Goldman Sachs. And Clarity is it's just like a lot of these apps do a lot of the same things. The difference with this one is that it'll also identify your recurring expenses like Netflix or the gym and things like that. And then it helps you draw attention to the kind of the subscriptions. Remember, I sent you an article this week about how people don't want to let their subscriptions go.
Right.
So this is one of those things that will help you let your subscriptions go, because it will point out the fact that here's stuff that you're paying for, or when's the last time you used it.
Yep.
So also with Clarity, they also have an FDI insured account. I believe they're still free to use, but again, read the fine print on anything that's free to use. And then the last one that we'll talk about is basically just kind of a rehash of like what my mama used to do, the envelope system. All right. But it's electronic envelope system. Yeah, I can't really say much about it. You set it up. If it's free, you get 10 envelopes. You can, put your little categories in it. I just
I think
conceptually
I've seen something like that
back
online.
in the day. Yeah, back
Like,
in the
it was-
day, I
it
remember
just-
trying to use it, but it just, yeah, I don't know. But it is free. Actually, there is a free plan, but if you want to have unlimited envelopes, it's 6 months, $6 a month or $50 a year. So we've given you quite a few apps that you can utilize if you want to track your budget. And then also there are debt planning payoff tools that you can also Google those and figure out what's going to be the best for you. Because again, if a recession is coming, we've got a real wonky election happening, you have to track your expenses. And if you are a creative, an artist, it is even more important for you to track your expenses.
Yes.
All right. So we want to talk about let's get into how do you make some money, right? So we're going to talk about the 10 highest paying gig economy jobs of 2019. Now, when I'm talking about this, I'm not talking about Uber and Lyft and all of those other things. When we talk about gig economy, we're talking about any type of career or any type of job that you can do that involves a mobile device and or a computer, that it can be initiated, completed, and everything can be done through that, meaning you don't have to be face to face with people. So the first, number one, highest paying gig job of 2019 was actually deep learning, artificial intelligence. So they're looking for programmers, people that can put all this stuff together. So most employers are going to require a bachelor's or a master's degree in computer science. You should have some experience in programming stuff. You can find there's over 8,000 deep learning jobs posted on LinkedIn. Okay, so there's no shortage of opportunities. And then there's another job called a blockchain architect. That's paying about $87 an hour. Let's see. I don't see that you need a college education, but blockchain has a little bit to do with Bitcoin. Blockchain is the new way that we're going to be.
Blockchain is from my understanding, is the technology behind how cryptocurrencies work.
Correct, but it's going to be utilized more than just cryptocurrency,
Right,
and it's
exactly.
important that we all understand it. But if you know how to program, so if you know like C++, Solidarity, Java, Python, things like that, you may be able to program with, I guess, be a blockchain programmer. What you got over there?
Over here I have number 3, which is robotics. The average pay for that per hour was $77.46. Robotic engineers are responsible for conceptualizing, designing, and modeling the mechanical elements of robotic mechanisms. Background training, securing robotic position usually requires bachelor's degree, so you do need some
So
college.
you do need some college.
Yes,
Okay.
so some of these things,
The
you're
thing
gonna
about
need
the
some-
robotics, though, is that you're every robot is going to take X number of humans out of a job, right?
I mean, either that or just enhance what they do so that they don't have to do a certain thing. I think a lot of times we look at these jobs or robots as taking over what we do when it just changes what we do.
Ooh, I like that.
You know?
Oh, you coming into the new century. You're not getting old, are you?
Oh no,
You're
no,
refusing.
no, I'm
Look at
fighting.
that.
It's just change, We went from agriculture to information age, so
Oh,
now
yeah.
industrial to the
yeah.
information age. So
Yes.
change.
See
comes.
the writing
Can't
on the
stop it.
wall.
All right, and then we have now where you can find gigs like robotics is Flex Jobs, Upwork list of you can look for robotic positions, the option to telecommute, and you may have additional success searching for a mechanical design engineer or robotics engineer, things of that nature. And then number 4, we have ethical hacking, $66.63 per hour average.
That is a huge one. That's going to be a huge one because in China, Russia, Iran, all those countries that keep hacking into us, they have university campus-sized campuses full of people hacking. So we need more hackers in this country.
Right, and we've seen movies where they've taken elements of criminal activity and turned it into a benefit for U.S. government to try to figure out how
Usually
to
you get in
not-
trouble first.
Right.
Usually you get in trouble
Like there
first.
was a movie that Leonardo DiCaprio did, but they basically ethical hacking is where you pay hackers to
hack into your system.
right, and so that we're protected because you need people who are gonna who are going to do that.
And a lot of major companies will pay you to try to break into their company.
Right,
you know.
right. And then we also have cryptocurrency at average of $65.37
What is
per
that,
hour.
mining cryptocurrency?
I believe so. It
Okay.
says Bitcoin has changed global commerce and fostered the growing need for blockchain technology, blockchain again, and freelance developers with the ability to build automated payments tools using altcoins are sought after, including those who understand how to integrate Bitcoin payment technology into existing websites and apps. I understand that Bitcoin is just an example of cryptocurrency.
Okay.
There are many others, and Bitcoin is just the most popular.
You know, the United States is trying to come up with their own now, cryptocurrency.
I'm not surprised.
Is it e-money or something? They're realizing they're going to lose power.
Facebook is coming up
Libra
with their own.
Yeah.
So it's potentially big business, or it's currently big business, potentially bigger. And background and training, blockground architecture, cryptocurrency development go hand in hand, which means that most positions require a similar experience, including what you mentioned before,
Okay.
C++, Solidarity,
But
Python.
it doesn't say degree, right? I don't think you have to have a degree to be
I don't think you have a degree, but you do probably have to have some certification.
Okay.
And even if not, a lot of this stuff, the way the things that we have today, you can go and learn the information and be technically able to do it.
But you just need
there
that
may be certain
on-the-job
things that you
training.
could get that will allow other people to see you as immediately professional.
Right.
Like certain certifications, but I don't think it's a required. And then where to find those gigs? Guru has dozens of freelance listings for opportunity.
You said Guru?
Yeah, it's called Guru.
Okay.
And I imagine that may be guru.com, but if you Google Guru, you can probably Google Guru in respect to cryptocurrency, and it should come up. But there's also another one, Upwork, TopTool, a staffing service. That's TopTool, TOPTAL, a staffing service that connects freelancers and businesses in search of skilled professionals.
Well, I know there's Amazon has a web services. I know I really haven't done my due diligence or taken the time to understand I think it's called AWS, Amazon Web Services.
Well, Amazon's web service power is the machine behind a lot of websites.
They're suing the government right now because Microsoft got that huge contract, and Jeff Bezos and Donald Trump have that Game of Thrones thing going on.
Right.
So they filed a restraining order against Microsoft or against. I mean, it's something so crazy that I'm like, this sounds like a soap opera. Like this is a big money soap opera.
It's all a soap opera when you look at it. Like it could all be.
Yeah. So the Lambda coding is what is what you need to be able to, I guess, do whatever it is you do on the Amazon Web Services. They're paying about $51 an hour. Now, they are looking for people that have a degree in computer sciences, but again, they're looking for people that know Java, Python, things like that. And you can go to Amazon's jobs page, and they've got hundreds of Lambda related positions all over the United States. And then of course you can also check out Upworks, because they're always looking for contractors, consultants, freelancers, etc. Another job that you can do, one of the top paying jobs, is virtual reality, VR. So if you've ever been in I guess that game Pokemon Go or geocaching or whatever, you've experienced virtual reality. So they're looking for freelancers who have experience in augmented reality algorithms. They have to be fluent in C and C++, and also have a background in 3D modeling and 3D scanning. So there's companies like Facebook, Microsoft, and Google. They're looking for virtual reality developers right now. So you can go on Indeed.com, and when we come back, we'll tell you I believe it may be the last 3 or 4 that we have that are the top highest paying gig jobs for 2019.
Indeed.
And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. It is Emma and Dheeaba back together. And listen, I want to thank a couple of Facebook groups for tuning in today. The Urban Entrepreneur and Internet Radio Station. Thank you for listening, watching. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comment section, or you can also text us at 678-613-5857. And before the break, we were talking about the top 10 highest paying gig economy jobs. Okay. So we're not talking Uber and Lyft and Instacart and things like that.
Because technically they do qualify as gig economy, but
Yeah.
what we're really saying here is freelance.
Yeah.
Freelance gives an indication that it's higher paying.
Yes. And can you give us a recap of the
Yes. So far we've covered deep learning, artificial intelligence, and that pays an average of around $115.06 per hour, and you can find those jobs typically they're telecommuting jobs. Check out Flex Jobs. I'm assuming that's flexjobs.com.
or just Google Flex Jobs?
Yes, if my notes don't have the dot after here, so just assume it's .com or Google it. Second is blockchain architecture. That's $87.05 per hour average. You can find those gigs on Upwork jobs board. That's Upwork's jobs board. That's Upwork.com. They also have an app, and Flex Jobs as well.
Okay, we're hearing a lot about Flex Jobs.
Yes,
we're hearing a whole lot about Flex Jobs.
Yes, and then we've also looked at robotics at $77.46 per hour average, and you can find those jobs at Flex Jobs and Upwork. And companies like Apple and Toyota, these are companies that use that type of work.
So they'll go there if they have jobs that they're posting for. They'll go on those job boards to look for people.
Yeah, and LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn Job Search also has found nearly 800 robotics engineering jobs with the names of Apple and Toyota. So not necessarily going Apple and Toyota, but they're just saying that on LinkedIn they noticed that people who had those background,
positions.
yes. And then there's ethical hacking at $66.63 per hour. Basically, you're a paid criminal. No, I'm just joking.
Hey, I feel like it is if you weren't in the military, you need to learn about ethical hacking. Okay.
And so you can find ethical hacking at you can look up phrases like ethical hacker, penetration tester. Sounds a little weird if you ask me. Return to one-time gig results on Upwork, and you'll find hundreds of ongoing positions using the same terms in Flex Jobs database. There's also cryptocurrency at $65.37 per hour.
And that is data mining, I think.
Yes, that is data mining for cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoins, altcoin, and anything else that falls under cryptocurrency.
All right.
You can find those jobs at Guru, Total, and Flex Jobs. And so
we're going
going
papers
on
at him. I threw them all out of order to see what he would do with it, right? Yeah, so then we have Amazon Web Services, again, Lambda coding. They're paying about $51 an hour. Virtual reality, if you know how to rock in the virtual reality space from a programming standpoint, 3D modeling, 3D scanning, they're paying about $50 an hour, and you can find these gigs, temporary and telecommuting gigs, most importantly. So it doesn't matter where you live, but you can find these on Flex Jobs, Upwork, and Guru. And then they have something called a React.js developer. And this was created by a Facebook software engineer. And React is a JavaScript library that's really going to allow developers to build user interfaces with existing templates. So companies like Yahoo, Airbnb, American Express rely on React to allow customers or consumers to make multiple sections on a page. So the number of rooms you want in a rental, you know how you get to scroll that thing down and select what you want, the number of people, because on Airbnb, more people you have staying with you, the more you have to pay. Okay. So for the background for this, again, will require a degree in computer science, but you can go to like Flex Jobs, etc., to figure out to look for jobs on that. And that's, what was number 9? The
number 9 we hadn't got to yet. That's actually Final Cut Pro Editor.
Okay.
Yeah, and Final Cut Pro Editor, that's actually very important for my career. These are the people who edit videos.
Okay.
Basically the job description is visual communication is crucial in our culture, and the ability to edit material with Apple software is a marketable skill. This is anything from what we're doing to commercials.
You can
movies,
do anything,
just
even
anything
with
that requires anything where there's video. People need that to be edited.
Okay.
And video editors make a good amount of money. I don't have the average. I think that page
was on the bottom
here. this is
I'll
number
find it.
9.
I'll
so
find
if you
it.
see that, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
but
find it.
background and training, software proficiency. It's Final Cut Pro is an Apple software.
So
And
you should have a Mac
right,
computer.
but
And
there are other pieces of software. Basically, this is
so you should
and
learn how to edit videos.
edit
That's
video.
the bottom
If you
line.
can edit
Adobe.
video, this is something you can do from home. It pays a nice amount of money, and there are endless opportunities in that. And with the with content, you know, right, content is. And so when people doing more content from Instagram to just some short videos to long form videos, this is good.
All right.
And where to find these gigs? Same Flex Job, Upwork, just all of
They can just do a search on that too.
exactly video editor.
And what is the
one that everybody wants to go for? That's the Instagram marketing. You know, everybody wants to be on Instagram, but the job description of this is basically Instagram is home to 8 million monthly active users, many of which sell products from their personal feeds. As a marketer and influencer, you'll connect with brands and advertise their products. So basically what an influencer is somebody who has a big enough following as to where their listeners
do what they say.
right, they will purchase products or consider products they either are selling themselves or mentioning on behalf of other people.
Okay.
So, you know, you have, of course, we know about who are, for instance, I like an actor I saw the other day, and he had, you know, he's a very well-known actor, and he was talking about water, some type of water product.
Okay.
And it threw me off because I was like, is this his company? And it wasn't his company. He had enough of a name where I guess he had started using the product, and it was one of those products where, you know, if you sign up, you can see a portion of it. So I guess he put it on. If it's
Like
products you
multi-level
believe
marketing.
in, right. You know, some of that stuff.
We
is,
don't in that.
right. Don't. But
As
if
an
it's,
influencer,
you know,
there's a lot of young people in the day.
Mm-hmm.
We used to laugh at, you know, when we see the Instagram models. Well, I was, you know, blah blah blah. But if you have a big enough following, the companies will come after you. They do pay attention to your followers. They do pay attention to the number of comments. They pay attention to everything.
If there are two actors who are basically their social media following to see, okay, is already.
How many followers you got?
How many followers you got? How much interaction do you have?
No, I'm asking you. How many followers you got, man? Keep going.
Yeah. I can
We need
use
to
some
work
more.
on that.
I can use some more.
So
you
he
know.
needs the Instagram marketer
I
to help
I can
him.
use some more, but I mean, it's not terribly small, but it's small by comparison. It's relative.
Okay.
You know, and so you know, all of that is relative. So it's like, but it is a legitimate job because, of course, you know, they want to know what audience you have, and if you had an audience, that's money.
And so for a lot of you out there, again, if you are a creative, meaning that you're an artist, a singer, a rapper, that creative space, that art space, dancers, etc., you also have to figure out other ways of earning money.
Yes.
And as the economy, as Dheeaba said, you know, we went from the industrial revolution to what's the new thing, tech revolution or information.
The information age is still in that, and all the technology we have going on still falls under that.
And so you're looking for how do you make money, because if you are creative, like your schedule can't be the normal 9 to 5 in a lot of cases. If you have to audition, if you have to
you have to be flexible enough to be able to audition or whatever you do for the opportunities that come up in your space.
So, but you also have to, and you and I kind of talked about this fallback thing, right?
Yeah.
For a lot of people, you have to have something that you can fall back on, some type of skill or trade that you can fall back on.
I think fallback is the wrong term.
Okay.
We have to use a term that doesn't indicate you fail. You have to use a term that is more conducive to your journey. And it's not a fallback, it's more of a vehicle, a monetary vehicle, so that you don't have to, because my goal is I'm pursuing acting.
And Can I call it a rent gig?
It's all.
Can I call it a light gig?
Yes.
Yes. This is how you keep your utilities on.
But basically, you want to get something that's going to allow me to pursue acting without having to worry if acting is going to pay me enough to pay my rent.
True.
Like acting pays a lot of money. Once you get to a certain place,
it's good, but it's feast or famine.
It can, yeah,
right?
It can be. And so, you know, you want to get you something that's flexible enough for you to go to, like, I'm just going to use myself for example. I want to get something that's flexible enough for me to go to my auditions, but pays me enough to whether either I don't have to worry about whether that job is going to pay me, although I'm not trying to do it for free.
Right.
I'm just not having to worry about it to pay my bills.
Correct. So if you don't get a gig, you're okay.
Right.
That's basically, we'll come up with another terminology for it other than fallback.
Right. But everybody knows, we understand what you mean by fallback with that.
So
caveat.
with that being said, you know, there is a gig economy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and the gig economy allows flexibility. All right. So you can go online. You can teach classes to students in South Korea and China. Teach them up. I think it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And you make, you know, a pretty clip. You don't have to have you don't have to have been an English major, but you do have to have, I think, have had a degree.
Well, it depends on which one you do.
Okay.
For that, you can do where you're teaching English, or you can just do one where you're actually speaking to them in English. Because a lot of times they just want somebody to talk to so they can practice.
Okay. Oh,
and it is a thing. You don't have to have any degree, just a mouth.
All right. So you can
and a computer.
Check out Dheeaba for that one. But there's also, again, as we were talking about getting like some of these higher paying gig economy jobs. Well, if you don't want to pay to go to college, they do have other sources. There's e-learning and m-learning that is extremely popular right now, and $8 billion industry 2030 or the year.
I've seen various numbers on different. I've approached that industry from a voiceover standpoint, where the informational learning, a lot of times you'll have voiceover artists record
the information,
the information and do the books. I mean the voiceover for it.
All right. Well, when we come back, we'll tell you where you can go to get some free courses, some Ivy League level courses. Your phones may be able to provide for you when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's. And we are back live on Sensation Network with Emma Dheeaba, model, actor, voiceover, something so people can be like, hey, Dheeaba.
Good evening. I don't know what time it is.
Yeah, you're not used to being up this early, are you?
I mean, I am. I just, I can't even explain that one.
Yeah, it's all good. I understand. So listen, you are listening to us live on Sensation Station Network, ssnatl.com. And if you're about to jump in your car and want to continue listening to our show, because we're going to be talking about a lot of cool things. We've got 18 companies that will allow you to work for them part-time, but also offer benefits. And then we're just going to be talking about, you know, what you need to do if you're a creative type to keep your financial house in order. Your comment in the comment section. Text us at 678-613-5857. Maria sent us a comment. This is a great show. Well, thank you, Maria. I appreciate it. She is watching us on Internet Radio Station, which is a Facebook group. And then we also have a Facebook group, Black as well. So again, if you have any questions about anything that we're talking about today, we talked about apps that you could use to keep your your budget in place, and apps to, kind of, if you're looking at, what do you call it? Trying to get rid of your debt, there's different things that you can do. But before about the changing economy and us being in the information age, is that what you called it? I'm trying to make sure. Okay, yes. So now we went from the Industrial Revolution, we're now in the information age.
Information age actually started in the 70s.
Anyway, Dheeaba. It did. But now is where the explosion is going to come, because now it's in everybody's home. In the 70s, we didn't have computer. What you had in your pocket with your phone would have taken up the whole room.
Right. The computer started with the huge computers in the 70s, and it's just, it's wonderful.
So if you are looking at, if you're in the retail sector, a lot of, I think it was the show before, I talked about industries and be here in the next 5 to 10 years. And if you're one of those people, and you're trying to figure out, well, what do I do? What if you're in a coal mining town, right? There are a lot of people in these towns that got, the companies moved out, and these people are left there. They a lot of times when companies are going to go, leave, they try to sweeten the pot, and they try to get you to stay and help you break the company down, sell it off, and all of that stuff. And then the company takes off, but then there's hundreds of people in this town with nowhere to go. They don't have enough money saved. They can't get a job. They can't sell to move, stuff like that. So what is it that these people can do? Well, it's the computers. You're going to have to take some courses. You're going to have to retrain yourself. If we look back as to, remember the old baseball games, there used to be somebody scoreboard putting in the different scores. And then when digital stuff came out, we didn't need that person anymore.
Please understand, we know that change is hard.
It is.
And when you have when you're making a living that you and maybe your family have been doing for years,
it could even be centuries. It could have been generations, right?
But we're at a point in time where things are changing very fast. Sometimes you just can't hold on. We're not going to be able to hold on to the coal industry.
No, it's gone.
And so you have to figure out what to
do next. If people in the steel towns, people in places where they had automotive industries and things like that, there's something else that you're going to have to do. And when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, we'll talk about some of these courses that you can take, and then we'll also get into these part-time gigs that you can have that offer full-time benefits.
Yes.
Yeah, come on. And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. You are listening to us live on Sensation Station Network. And again, if you're about to jump in the car, there's a TuneIn app. Just do a search for Sensation Station Network, and you can continue listening to us in the car. Or if you're in church and have your earbud in, that's okay. God won't be mad at you, because we're talking about how you can save your family, keep your family together, because one of the number one reasons for divorce is money, and we are keeping families together because we are talking about money today. All right. If you have a comment, we're getting a lot of comments. You can comment, or you can shoot us a text message at 678-613-5857. Someone wanted us to go back over these the highest paying gig economy jobs again. So again, going from number 10 in reverse order, number marketer, you can make about $31 an hour. You can find these gigs on influencer networks like Influencer Bay and Tribe. If you want to be a Final Cut Pro editor, they're paying about $37 per hour, and you can go to Flex Jobs to find those types of gigs. A React developer makes about $40 an hour, and you can go again on Flex Jobs. Virtual reality pays about $50 an hour. You can find those jobs on Indeed.com, FlexWorks, FlexJobs, Upwork, and Guru. It's all a mouthful. For the Lambda coding for the Amazon Web Services, you can find these gigs on Amazon's jobs pages. Okay, Amazon is, that Lambda is proprietary, so you're not going to be able to do that everywhere. Now, cryptocurrency miners, that pays about $65 an hour, and you can find those gigs on Guru and TopTal, TOPTAL, which is a staffing service that connects freelancers to the businesses that are in search of these skilled professionals. Ethical hacking, which I think is your duty as an American, to learn ethical hacking to help our government protect us and our information from these nefarious characters. You can find a job for ethical hacking on Flex Jobs database, and you can just do a search for ethical hacking jobs, okay? And then robotics, you can find gigs in robotics on Flex Jobs and also Upworks. And then we have the blockchain architect, which is paying about $87 per hour, and you can find those gigs on Upworks. And then the number one, the highest paying job of 2019 was deep learning artificial intelligence, and you can find an expansive list of those opportunities on Flex Jobs. Okay, you have any other questions? Feel free to just talk to us about it. Now, ask the questions. Ask away. So some other places that you can go for passive income are Gig Worker, a ton of information, Upworks, Fiverr, you told me about that one, Dheeaba, and then Voice Bunny.
Well, that's an option for people who are in the voiceover. That is one of many options that they can go to look into getting into voiceover.
Okay. So yeah, there's tons of places, and you can just Google whatever it is that you're into. You can Google, acting gigs, modeling gigs, voiceover gigs, audiobook narration gigs, things like that. There's a plethora of information out there. Before the break, we were kind of discussing what you can do if you need to educate yourself or retrain yourself. And again, as you get older, you don't want to learn new things, right? But if you want to stay young, and you want to stay relevant in this new economy, you are going to have to become comfortable with learning new things. And one of the things that I always tell my family is that discomfort breeds change. So anytime you're uncomfortable, that means it's time for you to learn to do something else or pivot or shift. And some of the things that you can do are go to, there's a website called Coursera. I may not be spelling it right, but however you spell course and then RA at the end of it, they have Ivy League classes that are available for free. If you want to pay a couple of bucks, you can actually get a certificate. But again, they have Nobel prize-winning instructors from like Harvard, Yale, Cornell. I mean, you name the school, they've got classes online, and all you have to do is buy a book, which you can get used on Amazon, and spend the time. You end up, it's like a real college course. You end up having like projects with other students and things like that. It's pretty dope. And I think you were saying that Apple also has...
Apple has Apple University. It's something similar to that. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but Apple University has something called, I believe it's Open University, where they have information. It's basically akin to auditing.
And if you to auditing.
Yeah, like you can go in class and you can audit it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking the other type of audit, the dirty audits.
Oh no,
sorry, baby. I was thinking like, audits. Nobody likes this tax time, man. That's blasphemy.
My bad.
That's blasphemy right now. So let's jump into. I know people want this information. The part-time jobs. All right. So again, when you are a creative person and you are, doing your thing, sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes for people, it may not hit until you're 50 or 60 years old. Okay. So what do you do in the meantime? Because if you are trying to do these part-time gigs, you have to pay for benefits. And the Affordable Care Act, while in theory it was a great concept, it, in my opinion, is just not, depending on the state that you live in. If you are in a state that did not take on the Medicare expansion, you're paying a lot of money for health care. Okay, so here are a couple of companies, 18 companies exactly, that you can work for that offer part-time benefits. Let's do odd even. I'll do odds.
Okay.
All right. So Activision Blizzard, and I remember Activision because I used to have an Atari when I was a little girl. So I definitely remember Activision. So Activision offers, if you're a part-time employee, they offer 401k, dental. They have employee discounts and also healthy incentive programs if you eat right, exercise, and lead a healthy lifestyle. So some of the part-time jobs that they have are FX artist, community lead, and office assistant.
All right. And number 2 is Aerotech. It's a staffing and recruiting company with more than 100,000 contract employees. Access to benefits depend on the employee's role. Some of those include healthcare coverage, life insurance, retirement planning, an employee discount program, and dependent care flexible spending accounts.
Oh, FSAs. I like that.
Sample part-time jobs include pharmacist, marketing manager, and physical reviewer. That's a pharmacist inside the building, not on the street, in case you're wondering.
Oh. Hey, listen, when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, 18 flex that have been part-time And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. I'm your host, Emma Folks, and I'm here with Dheeaba, the actor, model, voiceover specialist, and we are talking about 18 part-time jobs that you can have that will offer you benefits. So we started kick the list off with Activision Blizzard, which they're a video gaming company, and then Aerotech was another one. Who do we have for number 3?
Well, before I get to that, if you like what you're hearing, make sure you go ahead and take the time to like this show on whatever platform you're listening to. Okay? All right.
Dean wants to continue working with me in the future.
And go ahead and make sure you pass it on to anybody you think you might need it. All right. So
think you might need it?
You think might need it.
There we go.
There you go.
I could do that to him.
All right. So the third one on the list I'm very familiar with. I have a friend of mine who's an actor and a comedian who has been doing Red Cross for about 20 years in between his acting in
American
comedy.
Red Cross?
American Red Cross.
Okay.
He is a instructor. So he instructs other people who are be instructors on CPR and
staying alive. Just
right,
think staying alive.
exactly. So he goes around and trains people doing that. But American Red Cross is one such company that has a flexible and pays benefit and
yeah, they do health
benefits.
insurance.
Exactly.
They do professional career development opportunities, which is cool. And what are some of their part-time jobs that they have?
Depending on the role, part-time employees may be eligible for benefits, but they have CPR, first aid instructor, registered nurses, training and schedule coordinators. He has been able to do just that while he's been pursuing this.
Oh, see, and that's exactly what we're talking about, something that's flexible enough. All right, there's another company called Dial America, and they do like sales and multi-channel customer service solutions for customers. But they offer, again, for part-time workers, things like health, dental, life insurance, retirement planning, and education assistance. Now, I'm going to stop there with the education assistance because as you're looking at getting retrained into this gig economy or into this information age and making sure that you have a career that will allow you, or just some skills that will allow you to pay your bills, that it's important that you find a job also that has education assistance. So some of the part-time job titles that you can have with Dial America are call center QA, quality analyst, call center supervisor, and inside sales representative. That sounds like a wholesaler.
Yeah, and then we also have Home Depot. I have a few friends who have done this as well in between acting jobs. One of the world's largest providers of home improvement and specialty products. Everybody knows what Home Depot is. And so some of the part-time jobs that they offer: project specialist, customer service representatives, in-store promoter. So I believe that's home services project specialist, where people, because I've had someone come to my home and do something I didn't feel like doing, or help with a project. So I think that's what that is.
Yeah, IKEA we'll talk about that, but IKEA just bought a company that does that.
And it makes you eligible. The part-time benefits can range from health, life, dental, and assistance with life-changing events such as the birth of a child.
Ooh, that's good because that's expensive. Let's see. And what is it? Home. What did you talked about the? Yeah, you did. All right. So J.P. Morgan Chase is another company. I had to switch with like credit union stuff, but as you start traveling the globe and all over the country, having access to certain things. And so now what's important for me is a bank that has great technology. I cannot handle banks that don't have good technology, because I'd love to bank with even. But again, I don't mind putting a couple $1,000s with you. But when it comes to my money and interacting with people I need to pay, yada yada, I have to have a bank that has good technology. So J.P. Morgan Chase, for their part-time employees, anyone who works more than 20 hours a week will get healthcare spending accounts, and this is big: child and elder care, transportation. So if you have a parent that you need to take care of, you can put money aside tax-free for them. For their care, also your kids, in any transportation. So the job titles they have, the part-time job titles that they have that you can look for, are client onboarding, project associate, management, and also cash operations specialist. All
right, and I want to remind veterans out there, if you're a veteran, make sure you look into advantage of your veteran benefits, because a lot of veterans who are in the military and out of the military aren't aware of all the benefits that they have, and a lot of those would cover some of this.
Oh, and speaking of that, I'm going to jump back. Home Depot, J.P. Morgan Chase. Home Depot, if you're a veteran, you get 10% off.
Right.
All right. And J.P. Morgan Chase, if you are a veteran, your account, you get up to 3 accounts. And just veterans, we will take care of you.
Amen. So the next one is Kaplan. That's a for-profit educational organization. They provide K through 12 programs, online higher education, professional training, and test
we
preparation.
use a lot of people in my industry have gone through Kaplan.
Yeah, and they do test preparation for more than 300 locations in over 30 countries. And sample part-time jobs include marketing event associate, LSAT.
What's that? LSAT. That's for the lawyers.
LSAT. That's right. That's the law thing, right? Okay, LSAT. classroom and tutoring instructor, and an osteopathic medicine content creator.
I'm glad you were able to say that. All right, Landon.
I can say it. I don't know what it is, but I can say it.
Hey, listen, Land's End is another one of those, and they're a big retail clothing. When I was in private school, we used to get our uniforms and stuff from Land's End, and even when my son was in private school, so we all know Land's End. But they offer paid time off. If it's a part-time employee, you can get paid time off, health insurance, retirement savings programs, emergency childcare, and employee discounts, and that is a big thing. So they have some of their part-time job titles are CAD consultant, customer care specialist, and customer sales advisor.
All right. So we got
Well, listen, when we come back, we'll get into, I guess, the last 8.
Yes.
The last 8. And again, if you have any questions about any of these jobs, the benefits, about another part-time company that offers benefits, drop it in the comments so that our listeners and viewers know, they get to know of some other stuff, locally especially. And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. It is the dynamic duo in the house again, Emma Folks and Dheeaba, back together. It's been about 18 years or so, but we're doing our thing. And listen, before the break, we were telling you about part-time jobs that you can get that offer benefits. We kicked off with well, we'll do a recap of everything, but Activision, Aerotech, American Red Cross, Dial America, Home Depot, JP Morgan Chase, Kaplan, which is the educational place, Land's End, and number 9.
Where we're picking up is, if you're in the healthcare industry, this one will interest you. This is Lexington Network, a family-owned company. Lexington Network services including healthcare, skilled nursing, rehabilitation, supportive and senior living options, and home healthcare. Some of the part-time benefits include health and dental insurance, paid vacation, and retirement planning. And some sample part-time jobs are dietary aid, receptionist, and activity aid.
Dietary aid. I just think of the lunch lady when I hear when I think of that stuff. All right, number 10 is REI, also known as Recreational Equipment Incorporated. They're the people that, if you're into hiking and doing all that outdoor stuff, you go there. Dheeaba and I were in the Army, so I don't believe we do any type of hiking or camping anymore, right?
Hey, speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll have to talk about that. So if you work for REI part-time, they have medical plan options. They have life and disability coverage because, you could fall off the side of a cliff while you're hiking. Psych.
Yeah, I don't do that kind of hiking.
And then they also have options for vision, dental, and long-term care coverage, which is huge. Long-term care coverage. This is probably one of the few part-time gigs that offers long-term care coverage. So part-time titles you can have are going to be outdoor school instructor, customer service specialist, and a seasonal contact center representative.
All right, next up we got Staples. Everybody knows Staples, the Fortune 500 company and one of the biggest office supply companies in the world. Their part-time benefits include flexible health and dental coverage options, life insurance, accidental death and dismemberment, and critical illness insurance. Some sample part-time jobs with Staples include print marketing associate, tech services agent, and certified technician.
All right, and then number 12 is going to be Starbucks, and I love Starbucks. I've known that they've done stuff for a while because I know a lot of people while they're in school or when they got kicked off their parents' insurance and they need insurance, they'll go work at Starbucks. So they also give their part-time people bonuses, 401k plan with matching. Its stock purchase options, and they're also doing they provide healthcare coverage for employees and their spouse and or domestic partners. And I do believe that they have a deal with the University of Arizona State University, where you can go for free. I don't know if you have to be part-time or full-time, but you can do their online bachelor free if you work at Starbucks. So some of the part-time job titles would be at contact center representative, distribution partner.
All right, and then next up we have SurveyMonkey, a web-based survey development company. They have services that help clients and businesses make informed decisions based on personalized surveys. And some of their benefits for part-time employees include medical, dental, vision coverage, paid vacation, sick leave, and paid paternity leave.
Parental leave. Oh, paternity.
I don't even know what is parental leave.
Meaning well, it could be, I guess, any type of, what
You
is
know
it
what?
called? FMLA, any type of family leave you need to take. If your wife has a baby and you're a man, you could take
Okay.
paternity leave. If you're a mom, you can have maternity leave. If you adopt,
All right. I'm asking for the audience. I don't have none of that. Okay. All right. So simple part-time job titles include junior IT administrator.
All right, number 14 is Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is one of the few stores that I actually enjoy going into.
Yes.
Like, I hate grocery shopping, but I love, like, I'll text Trina, let me on something.
Yeah.
20 minutes later, when she responds, I'm like, too late, I'm already in the car. Because it's one of the few stores you can get in and out of like that. So for Trader Joe's, for their part-time crew members, they give them vision, dental, medical insurance, retirement planning packages, and of course employee discounts at the store. And sample part-time job titles would be store sign artist.
All right, and then we have UPS,
hometown favorite,
and that is the world's largest package delivery. If you don't know who UPS is.
Better know Brown.
The potential benefits for part-time UPS employees include medical care, hospitalization, dental and vision care, and behavioral health coverage. Sample part-time jobs include central associate, data entry, warehouse, order processing representative.
All right, Warby Parker. I got these on right now. Low-cost eyeglasses. So I was upset. Well, that's a whole other conversation about me being upset about the eye care industry. But if you work at Warby Parker, they do have physical locations. I know most of you know about the online, direct-to-customer eyeglasses, etc. But in select cities around the country, they actually have stores. And if you're working with Warby Parker, you can have a health and dental free and discounted eyewear, 401k savings plan, retirement plan, and then part-time job titles for Warby Parker would be optician, advisor sales, and customer experience advisor.
All right. We have Wegmans, a family-owned supermarket chain. Wegmans has more than 87 stores nationwide and 87,000 employees. Wow. For Wegmans part-time workers, benefits include health coverage, life insurance, wellness incentives, and 401k savings program. Part-time jobs include pharmacy technician and accounting office specialist.
All right, and number 18, rounding off the list, is Whole Foods Market. The reason why I have to go to Trader Joe's now is when they bought Whole Foods, took our Whole Foods out of our neighborhood because So I love Whole Foods. So Whole Foods, if you work there part-time, you can get medical coverage, paid time off, and of course store discounts. So some of their part-time job titles would be payroll and benefit processor, human resources specialist, and a store graphic artist and sign maker.
All
right.
I wondered why those signs were always so immaculate. I'm like,
Yeah.
somebody.
Now you know.
All right.
Then if you're local in the South, there's a grocery store called Publix. I know Publix and health coverage in my day job as a certified financial planner back in the day, when Delta was doing rounds of layoffs in the early 2000s. A lot of people that thought they were going to retire from Delta with these big pensions and stuff, once they got laid off, they ended up going to work at Publix until they reached age 62 or 65, so until their Delta pensions kicked in. So Publix is a pretty decent company too, and they also provide stock options. All right, when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, we'll have movers and losers and just things we need to be paying attention to in our economy. And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. You are listening to Emma, folks, live, certified financial planner by day. And at night and on the weekends, I actually try to teach Main Street about our economy. What's happening in Washington? What's happening on Wall Street? How do we break this down and so that you understand how to keep more money in your pockets, right? How's that sound? All right, so I wanted to give a shout out to Karen on Black Business Owners Connected, which is a Facebook group. Thank you, and everyone actually today who's been watching and actually giving us the comments and feedback. We absolutely love that. Another question we have is, are there any more stay-at-home part-time jobs?
And I have a great answer for that because that's a wonderful question. I tell you what you can do is on YouTube, there are several people who have dedicated basically their lives to answering that question. And they release job information about companies that are hiring work-at-home employees. And so what I would do is go to YouTube and type in work-at-home jobs 2020, and you will get a slew of wonderful information of people that on a daily to a weekly basis. Also, there's a gentleman called Roberto Blake. He talks to people who are in a creative space who want to figure out how to work from home. He has a YouTube channel. Great guy. And his name is Roberto Blake.
Roberto,
and,
on YouTube?
He's on YouTube. He's on the web, but he has a YouTube channel, and that's where I would go to find him and his videos.
And and again, this is not just, as you were mentioning, not just for creatives. This is for anybody that's looking for a way to just beef up or just strengthen up your economic situation.
Exactly.
So
the Google, looking it up on YouTube with regard to the work at home jobs. That's general. Roberto Blake is
for
creatives.
creatives. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. And so I've been mentioning on the show about the recession. The recession may be coming. We're in the longest economic expansion in all history since they've been recording what's been going on. So we know everything in this world is cyclical. What goes up must come down. What's down must come up. So if you have debt, you want to pay that debt down, and you may not be able to do it. If half the country is living paycheck to paycheck, that you need to do something else to get coming in. And even if you don't have debt, you need to do something else to have extra money coming in, because in the recession, that means everything is on sale. The stock market is on sale. Housing prices will be on sale. Contracting will be able to beef your house up, do different things. So you want to have a lot of cash on hand. Cash is king, cash is queen, cash is shim, for those that are in between. Right? So you want to make sure you have enough cash and also pay down the debt that you have. And again, it doesn't mean necessarily pay off, but get some of those credit cards that you have down to, pay it down to about 2/3 of it, so that you're at about one capacity. So if your balance is your available limit is say $1,000, you don't have more than $300 on that card.
Right.
As much as you can to get to that 1/3 level and move on to the next card and pay. Excellent credit is what helps you borrow for a lower rate. And in some cases, if you can get your credit score way up into the eights, the high eights, you can borrow, or you can do stuff without having to have a down payment. Okay, so money. So the tips that we're giving you have to do with how do you shore up your household finances for the year 2020 and looking into 2021. So having extra jobs is not a bad thing. It's just a way to make extra money so you can pay for all these activities if you have kids. So you can pay for all the 50 million things that they have to do. It costs $1 million to have a child.
I heard
300,000 on the lower end.
I've heard that, but it's not something I look into. With any. It's not something I look into.
Waiting on the return on my investment, man. Come on now. Come on. We need little Dheebas running around. Or not. I'm kind of tired of people telling people that they need to have kids. You do you. You do you. Listen, when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, we will have my market movers and losers.
You ask me questions.
And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. All right, it is time for my market movers and losers. So a mover is going to be Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley is buying E-Trade for a reported $13 million deal that's going to reshape the investment bank and managing, and they're basically staking their future right now on managing money for regular schmegglers. Main Street. All right. That's going to be interesting. Now, I don't like it because, again, anytime you have a contraction of in the industry and there are less people giving you avenues to do your business, that, we get into that monopoly type of thing. So I'm not a big fan of it. That's just my opinion. All right. Another loser was Michael Bloomberg.
Definitely.
Michael Bloomberg got bodied this week, but he missed an opportunity amongst all the other stuff that he did wrong on stage. One of the things that he didn't do was he didn't talk about his plan to raise about $5 trillion from higher taxes on the wealthy and corporations, which is something that I feel, I'm a big proponent of universal basic income. And I feel that if you have, the lower 99% are Main Streeters that pay more in taxes than the 1% and also corporations that to kind of level out the playing field. I don't know where you live in America, but here in Atlanta, there's potholes everywhere. America was built on this notion,